Last night was an absolutely devastating blow to Donald Trump's presidency, and if you can see the smile on my face, it's because it just keeps getting worse. Because Donald Trump has already admitted that this government shutdown that he has caused and he can't fix was one of the biggest reasons he was dealt a crushing blow last night. And he was just confronted about this shutdown and caught in a lie that he has been telling by a Fox host of all people, confronted by Brett Baier, and a sweaty Trump just completely imploded in a non-answer that we are going to get into. It kind of stunned Brett Baier. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into Trump being questioned by Brett Baier again, a little shocking, I want to start with another Fox host. A liberal Fox host calling out the big loss that Donald Trump took last night. It's Jessica Tarloff right here.
So Donald Trump made big gains. He got 46% of the vote. It swung all the way back. Mikey Sherrill got, 64% there. You are already seeing Republicans on the state level start to panic about the gerrymander plans, because that Texas gerrymander only works if you're going to get 2024 Latino margins. It does not work if it goes back to normal. So they're freaking out as Gavin Newsom is taking a well-deserved victory lap on Prop 50, which he won by an even bigger margin than his own recall. So it was, you want to make it about Mamdani, post cover, they always deliver. But the story is that moderate candidates won all over this country, and that Donald Trump and Mike Johnson have their heads in the sand, still telling us.
Remember when Republicans were telling us that Donald Trump won some sweeping cultural victory? That the 2024 election meant that it was over for Democrats forever. That we just had to pack it in because Donald Trump was so popular. Oh my God. And then his presidency started, and the tariff started, and the ICE raid started, and the crypto scam started, and the insider trading started, and everyone woke up and remembered, this is the worst president we have ever had in American history, and I hate that guy. Well, they have woken up so much that they walked their way to the polls and woke his back. By the way, sorry, Donald. Not actually. But this was a major blow to not only the idea of inevitability that Donald Trump has, but his ability to say, screw it, I'll do whatever I want. Because now Republicans realize the midterms are close, they're coming, and they're screwed, especially around the shutdown. And before we get into Trump's answer, I want to hear a little bit more from Jessica on exactly that.
3 million nasty people on the internet, but I knew exactly what I was saying, because the point is that with great power comes great responsibility. I heard that once in a great Spider-Man movie. And Republicans are in charge. They're not 60 votes in charge, but they've got a majority of the way there. And when you are in charge and you don't have all the votes that you need, it is incumbent upon you to make a deal with the people whose votes you need. And based on prior voting for CRs, you know that there are moderate Democrats who would certainly be willing to have a conversation with you if you would do that properly timed, not open up the government and then make the same promises that they have for months. I mean, this has been going on since the big, beautiful bill was signed, that they've been saying, yeah, we want to do something on ACA premiums, and then they keep kicking the can down the road. We know that Harry Enton is about to, maybe while we're speaking right now, there will be another clip with the reverse story out about what's going on. And so I'll do the work for him. Harry Enton put up the Navigator survey, which shows that the American public is blaming the Republicans by 14 points now, and it was just 10 points last week. The story about Democrats cutting off SNAP benefits and that we're the heartless ones and Mike Johnson feels terrible is how you say BS. Mike Johnson, in his big, beautiful bill, $186 billion gone from the SNAP program. And in the 2018 shutdown, Donald Trump made sure that people got their SNAP benefits because he knows that it's important. And that's why Josh Hawley wants to have a standalone bill about SNAP. Josh Hawley, who also wants a standalone bill to make sure that people get their Medicaid coverage back because the big, beautiful bill takes it away. So, Gregory, that is how I have shown you that my tweet wasn't dumb. That I'm not dumb. And
Republicans are such giant hypocrites. Like, they want to tell you at the same time as the big, strong, tough macho men, they can't govern. You're in charge. By the way, I don't think that you realize that. You clearly don't. But you have majorities in House, Senate, you have the presidency, or Stephen Miller has the presidency. I don't really know who's in charge of that White House after seeing Donald Trump not know the difference between South Africa and South America today. Yeah, clearly, our dementia-riddled president isn't all there. But Republicans, this is your fault. This is your job. And when Brett Baier asked Donald Trump that exact question, he just imploded.
This government shutdown, in your mind? Well, I think the Democrats have become radicalized. I think, this never happened before. They always extend. An extension is very easy. It's done all the time. You extend, sometimes you extend 4 or 5 times. I mean, they become radicalized lunatics, actually, in a true sense. They should automatically extend, and we will make a deal as soon as they do. As soon as they do, we'll...
Did Donald Trump just admit that he's waiting on Democrats? Like, I know he's saying he's waiting on Democrats to cave, but he's waiting on Democrats. He's admitting that he is powerless. He's admitting that he's the big baby loser that we've always known that he is. And it's not just, again, because of the shutdown. Donald Trump is feeling the effects of a devastating election blow last night. So much so that even Jesse Waters admitted to it.
Okay. The Democrats had a great night. I want to sugarcoat it a little bit, though. These were all blue states. Trump didn't campaign there. He didn't spend money there. And the candidates Republicans ran were not very good.
Again, here is this moving of the goalpost. Get out of here. Jesse, I don't want to hear the bullshit. First, glad to hear you admit that you're a big loser, and we won. We won big last night. Do y'all also have a smile on your face? Have you just been like reveling in this all day? God, I've had such a great time. But this answer from Jesse, ridiculous. The idea that flipping the governor's mansion in Virginia from Republican Democrat is a blue state victory. That's just fundamentally not true. But also, you guys were talking again about this so-called cultural shifting, a win by Trump in 2024, that everything was different, that things had completely changed. I never bought that line of bullshit, by the way. And I talked about that on the show. But you guys were the one hyping up Winsome Earl Sears, Winsome Lusum. You are the guys hyping up Mikey, Cheryl. You are the ones saying that Gavin's gonna fail people in California. They're fed up with Gavin. Tired of Gavin. Gavin just beat the hell out of Donald Trump. He just busted his ass. And like, here's even Jennifer Newsom, the First Lady of California. She gave, like, a 5-minute speech in which she ripped Trump to shreds. It was an amazing speech. Like, everyone in the Newsom family is just like, ugh! Just hit him with the, obviously, you can tell I'm just having fun today. What about this was like, oh yeah, obviously, it was gonna happen. Obviously, it was gonna happen. Such goalpost moving. I'm so tired of that. They're such sore losers. Oh, we all thought this was gonna happen. Then why? Like, the night before, we're like, oh, Democrats in disarray. Mikey Sherrill not a good enough candidate. Zeron. All the billionaires are gonna stop them. They didn't. Do you know how much money billionaires wasted? $26 million. Wasted $26 million. Wasted trying to beat Ziramandani from doing what? Making buses fast and free. Oh, whoa. The bus. Oh, Lord. Free transportation. People can get around and get to their job in a quick and efficient way. So scary. Oh no, lock them up. I know Trump's gonna try to, but these guys have embarrassed themselves tonight. And it is only compounded on the fact that how out of touch they are has coincided not only with this transformational candidate in Ziramandani, but the shutdown, in which they're literally starving people. Like, let's be real, they are starving people, and Chris Murphy called that all out right here.
Richest families in this country in the big beautiful bill got a tax cut of $270,000. And so it shouldn't surprise anyone how outrageous these tactics are. One is to tell House Republicans to not show up for work, right? I know you guys have to write a new story every day, but there's really only one story, which is that the House Republicans have been AWOL from their jobs for the entirety of the shutdown because it's easier to protect your tax cuts for the wealthy if you don't even require your employees to show up on the job. It is extraordinary to put families in this country through the horrific, mind-altering pain of knowing that your children are going to go to bed hungry at night. But it's in service of protecting the tax cuts for the wealthy. As Tina said, what they believe is that they can put people through such horrifying pain in this country, the Democrats will agree to a budget that allows for those tax cuts to continue and spreads even more pain amongst people through the evisceration of our healthcare system. So we are here today talking about this illegal decision that the president has made to not spend these contingency funds because only one thing matters to him: preserving those tax cuts. We are here as the only body showing up for work today because only one thing matters to Donald Trump: preserving those tax cuts. No president in the history of this country has ignored that law, has during a period of shutdown refused to spend the contingency funds, because no president prior to this one was so myopic about helping only one small segment of people in this country, the very rich and powerful, that they were willing to do such enormous, unconscionable damage to the most vulnerable families in this country as a tactic to try to make sure that they're help for the powerful.
I have heard a lot of disgusting this, a lot of bigotry, just a lot of hate from Republicans. But what they've said about SNAP has driven me crazier, maybe than ever before. An insistence that people working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, trying to provide for their family, unable to because corporations refuse to pay them living wages. To say that those people don't deserve food or should eat neutral loaf, like literal prison torture food. Or that it's a crying shame that you can use EBT dollars to buy cookies so that, a parent can get their kid 12 cookies to bring into class on their birthday so that they don't have to feel different from the other kids, so that they don't have to go into kindergarten with that burden. It's been gross, but that's what the Republican Party is. So let's call them out. They're fucking weird, sad, lonely, antisocial dickheads. That's the word I'm gonna choose. Sorry. And I'm gonna keep calling him out for that. If you wanna support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on this video. If you stuck around at the end, drop a blue